Welcome back to Live Your Best Life podcast, and today I'm just doing a little bonus episode following on from the last one on the law of attraction because it's such a fun topic. So in the last one, if you haven't listened to it, I'd definitely go back and have a listen. I'm just basically talk you through what the law of attraction is, how it works, the science behind it, the fact that it isn't just woo-woo, it is actually a real thing. So today I'm just going to run through some of the things that I do myself and some of the little wins that I've had as well. So this isn't about wishful thinking and positive vibes. I'm going to talk about the actual things that I do to help manifest. So let's start with the first thing. So when I very first started using the law of attraction, it's always good to kind of test it to build some trust in it. So I would just say something like, I'm open to receiving something free today. And then I would just let that go and just see if anything happens. And honestly, the first couple of times I did this, I would get like a little email through that would offer me a free gift with something that I was going to buy anyway. And I also did this fun thing where, have you ever seen those like tag share competitions on Facebook and Instagram? I entered a few of those and I've won a few things. One of them was a set of booty bands that I wanted, and then I won a whole pallet of energy drinks. Now, when I say a whole pallet, there was literally about 1,000 of these drinks on a huge pallet that turned up in a van that I won that day. So obviously I couldn't drink them all myself, so as I had a gym, I sold them through the gym. That was a great little win for just a little competition on Instagram. The other thing that I do is I like to just be open to receiving upgrades, and I'd set this intention when I'm going on holiday or if I'm travelling, and the number of times that I've had something happen that was either an upgrade or felt like an uplift in my experience or a room upgrade. It happens more than just the odd lucky occasion, and it always happens when I've set that intention before travelling. So the other way I like to use it, and this is one I've been using right from when I first started doing it, because it was one of the first little tests I tried, is around parking. So where I live, the parking is really tight, so there aren't enough spaces for the number of homes. And the first few months we lived there, we were constantly having to park out on the road. So I thought I'd test it, and so I would just say, I've only got to be lucky once, I will find a space. And every time I do this, I always find a space. And the times I forget because I'm distracted or chatting, there won't be a space and I'll have to park further out. And I've also tried this when I'm out and about. So when it's really busy car park and it doesn't look like there's going to be a space, I will always just set this intention that I'm always lucky, I'm going to find a space, and one will always pop up. But the other thing that tends to happen with saying that I'm lucky with parking, the last probably 3 or 4 times I've been to a car park, I've had someone come running up to me saying, oh, I've just bought this ticket, but I've only used it a little bit, would you like it? I've had this just literally this week, the parking machine wasn't working, and I nipped in and asked the company, and they said, oh, don't worry, you don't need to pay if it's not working. And also twice I've been up to a hospital. Now, how long do you normally have to wait in a hospital? You're normally there a long time. We literally nipped in, had the appointment, got the prescription, and got back to the car before the free grace period was up. And parking at hospitals is really expensive. So these are all little wins that I have along the way. Now, they are not massive things, but they help build trust that the process works. When you just set an intention and let it go, and don't overthink it, don't kind of dwell on it, you just let it go and wait and see what happens. So some of the other more fun manifestations that I've had. So a couple of years ago, we changed our bank, and they do that thing where they move everything over for you. And so we had a bank account and we had 2 savings accounts, and it all got moved over. And the following year, someone sent me a payment and they'd sent it to my savings account, and I suddenly realised when I didn't receive a payment that they'd sent it to my old account. So I rang my old bank and I said, look, I think a payment's been sent. What happens when your bank account's closed and someone sends a payment there? And they said, oh, well, normally it's just sent straight back. And I said, oh, well, it hasn't been. And when they looked, they realised that when they'd moved our bank accounts, they'd moved the account and the main savings account, but they'd forgotten to move my secondary savings account. So also, and this is a little tip actually, if you change your bank account, the other savings account we had also got interest that had been accrued that had never been sent. And if you don't contact your bank, you never get that money. So because I contacted them back, the interest that was due also got sent to me. And the amount of money with this interest that we were owed, which we never knew about, and the savings account that had just been sat there that I didn't realise, was exactly the amount that we needed for the final payment on our 69-day cruise that we did last year. Now, how would I manifested that? Well, I love to ask the universe for unexpected money or unexpected abundance to cover the costs of my travel and experiences. And so I do this daily, just asking the universe that I'm open to receiving unexpected income or unexpected abundance to cover the costs of my travel. And this was the first one that came up. So sometimes it will come in forms of there'll suddenly be a big discount, or I'll get money back off something, or a voucher, or an upgrade, all kinds of things. But this was the biggest one I've had, where this money just appeared from nowhere. And obviously it was money that I had, but I had no idea that it hadn't been moved across with my original money. Maybe it's another lesson that I need to be a bit more mindful of where my money is. But you can see that when you ask for these things and then you don't obsess over them, you just ask and let it go to the universe, it will find a way to come to you. And sometimes you need to be quite specific. So I would never just ask for money generally. The universe likes you to be specific. So I will have in mind an amount of money for the cost of the trip that I want to do, or the experience that I would like to do. So I am quite specific in what I'm asking for, but then I just let it go. And I do inspired actions where it's appropriate, but this is a fun one that I'm open to receiving, but I'm not specific about how I'm going to get it. So I'm not saying that I need to earn that money. I'm letting the universe decide how it's going to bring it to me. And I think if you're too precise about saying how you want that money to come to you, then you're narrowing down what the universe can send you and how it can send it to you. So I'm always just open to receiving from wherever it would like to send it from. So there's lots of other inspired actions that I do to help get me in the right frame of mind, because the law of vibration is very closely aligned to law of attraction. So the higher your vibration, the higher your energy, the more positive you are going to receive the things on that same level. So if you're very down and sad, or in fear, frustrated, you're going to receive back that energy that you're putting out. So it's very important to do lots of things that help keep you in a higher vibration and a more positive mindset, so that you're then attracting things on that level. So what do I do? So there's lots of things, and these are things that I will go into more detail in other episodes. Meditation. Now, I will do a whole episode on this, because I know the minute you say meditation, a lot of people just switch off completely because they believe they can't do it. Now, I 100% used to be one of those people who said they can't meditate. And I went to a workshop and learned how to meditate properly, and I will share this with you, because there's several ways to do this, and you can find the way that works best for you. So don't be put off that when that episode comes up. If you're the type of person who just thinks I can't meditate because my brain's too busy, I can't switch off, that kind of thing, I will totally share with you some tips on how to do that. So this is really just to calm my mind so that I can more clearly visualize what I would like my life to be like. And then visualization is a really important aspect. So I'm imagining, so it's like daydreaming with intention, how I'd like my life to be. And that is an episode that's coming up next. So do look out for that next week, because I'm going to talk you through how to use visualization to help you build the dream life. The other thing that I like to do is gratitude. And again, I could talk for ages on gratitude, but if you are grateful, you are much more likely to attract more things to be grateful for. Whereas when you take things for granted, you're almost pushing things away. So daily gratitude is a really, really easy thing that we can all do to help attract more things to be grateful for. The other thing I like to do is I keep a list. So in the back of my diary, I have an abundance list. So every time something that I've asked for appears, however big or small, I keep a log of it. So it could be something free that someone's given me, like a gift. It could be a free drink that I've been given. It could be the money that appeared to pay off my holiday that I didn't know about. All these things I keep track of, because it's really good to go back and remind yourself of all the things, because some of them might be small things, especially if you've been doing the test in the universe that I love to do. It's great to look back at that list and just see how many things you have actually received, and then be grateful for all those things. So I also journal, and I do this in a very specific way, and the journal that I use is in the show notes, because I've put together how I journal into a workbook so that you can journal the same way. So I have a gratitude journal. I have an app on my phone that I can quickly do some manifesting with for affirmations and gratitude. And then I basically use my habit tracker if I'm needing to get into a good routine, or if I'm doing something new. I use my habit tracker to make sure that I stick to those new things until they become well-established habits. And I've shared both the free habit tracker that I use. You can, if you go into the show notes, you can click and get that downloaded to your email. And also the details of the goal setting journal are in the notes as well. So to summarise, I love to test the universe, asking for small things that just confirm that the process works. I use identity shifts like just saying I'm really lucky. I combine manifestation with action using my habit tracker and my goal setting journal. I stay consistent with those habits. I practice my gratitude. I visualize, I track the little wins, and journal intentionally. And all these things, they all add up. And they all help shift you into a direction where the things that you want are more likely to happen. And it's not a case of just asking and not doing anything, although sometimes that does work. But you're setting in motion a pathway that's going to attract the things that you want to you. So why don't you have a go? Why don't you just ask the universe for something? You don't need to be specific. You could do what I do and just ask for something free or a little gift and see if something turns up that day. And it's amazing where these little things come from. Don't forget to check out the habit tracker and the goal setting journal if you think they might be useful. And thanks for listening to my little bonus episode where I just wanted to share with you some of the fun things that using the law of attraction can do. But ultimately, the law of attraction has helped me bring the lifestyle that I want to have, where I can travel almost all of the time. I love the lifestyle I've got at the moment, and that has definitely manifested from intentional work over the last few years, being very specific about the lifestyle that I wanted to have. So have a go, and I will be sharing in the next couple of episodes in more detail a couple of things that I use and how the law of attraction works in a little bit more detail. And this isn't a law of attraction podcast, but I think it's so important to, as part of building your dream life, to use every tool possible. So we will be moving on to some other topics as well, but stay tuned for the next couple where we are going to talk in a little bit more detail about things that you can do to make this work. So I hope you've enjoyed the little insight today, and I shall see you next week.